Alright guys, we're going to give you a little overview of what we got going on in the shop, what we're working on. If I don't run over the dog. We got a bunch of truggies we're working on, cubbing building, got an older Jammin X2 in the process of rebuilding, cleaning, got a Techno ET48-3 back there. What else we got? Up there on the wall, we got a hot bodies that we're converting over to electric. That's pretty close to being done. And a little low C mini truggy. We haven't done much with that. What else we got? Oh yeah, over in the corner, a little lonely Revo wannabe Slayer, which actually moves along pretty darn good. I was rather surprised. So, better say hi to the dog. Say hi, B. That's my little puppy. That's all you're getting. Say hi. For all the German Shepherd lovers. Alright. He's still a little puppy. Hopefully he stops growing. Fly over, big guy. Watch out. Watch out. Why don't you tell everybody why I'm stuck wearing my safety glasses, huh? Did somebody eat my nice glasses? Yeah. Somebody ate my nice glasses. No comments on who that is. You guys can guess down below the comment section. I think I still have the glasses in there if you really want to see them. All right, 5 out of the way. Watch out, B-boy. So, in rebuilding the Jammin, did test fire some of the engines. Hasn't been running a while. We found ourselves some noise, which we isolated down to a couple gnarly bearings on our center differential. Let's see if I can get you a little closer here. Which nobody likes doing diffs. The wife wanting to talk. But they're essential. I've been letting this drain a little bit. Take an old paint can, put a paper towel in it, flip it upside down, let her sit there for 20 minutes. Most all your fluid will drain out. Makes it 1% cleaner of a job. Where's my socket? I like to use sockets for diff holders. They work nice, heavy. You don't have to worry about knocking them over. And paper towels. Right. No. No. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? It's the back half of the shop. It's a little chilly today. Turn the heater on. So anyway. Back to what we were doing before the guard dog took over. yourself a couple extra paper towels to put down. Got tools everywhere. I believe we'll have some of the boys over doing some work. We're slowly going to try to break ourselves into this whole video thing and maybe spread some RC fun and a little knowledge along the way, which is always good because it can be awfully frustrating sometimes, right down to finding your little tools that you need. Most all of it drained out, didn't take long. Use a little pair of Hemos, they slide right out usually. Pull those out. Your gear at the bottom. Everything's out. This is one of those things you want to keep up with if you're running hard. These bearings take a beating, the grit and grime. These ones don't feel awfully bad, other they're dried out and they make a lot of noise when they spin. So figured while we're here, might as well do it right, I guess. So we'll push the little pin out. You can hear the bearing. Spins too good. Take the little set screw off. Some diffs have these, some diffs don't. These are a little older style, so they still have the set screws. I know the Techno under there doesn't have the set screws, and these ones have the screws. You got to slide the little cross pin out to drop the out drive. Take your little set screw out. Push it down and line it up with the hole. There's a little hole there. You can see my pins inside of there. Probably not, because the lighting here sucks right now. Alright, kinda. We'll work on the lighting. I gotta do some rearranging. We're kind of test running now, so don't beat me up too bad. Cross pin comes out. Out drive slides out. Old gritty bearings out. Not too bad, pretty harmless. Wipe everything off. So, reassembly, we got to get us a couple new bearings. Couple new bearings. Rags close by. housing's all nice and clean. Normally I'd clean everything back out of there and flush it out, but it wasn't too awfully bad. Everything looks all right. Slide my out drive back in there. Little cross pin can be hectic. My little parts I just roll on a paper towel. It'll clean them off real nice. Slide that in. You can just get it started. I like to use my little driver. Slide her through into the middle. About where she's got to be. My little grub screw. So these guys, you just want to go flush with the outside edge. You don't want it protruding to the inside where you got to worry about it hitting on any of the gears or anything rotating. So pay attention to that. And these gears I know are pretty close to new, but we're going to wipe them off. Do a visual inspection on anything for any broken teeth. Look good. So we're using 20,000 on the center of this guy. I like the line under the gear. Fill these holes with them, with your diff fluid. Just helps get a little bit of the air out. Make sure your pin's centered and drop her down in there. Give it a little turn, you'll feel it lock into place. And there you have it. Nice new bearing. New bearing. Have to get some better light for in here. Bear with me. So same with your little cross pins. And I'll wipe everything off. Make sure you don't have any issues, broken teeth. Some of them have little shims on them, some of them don't. This one does, so just be careful if you got the little shims on there. How'd that dog hair get in there? I want it to be. Slide in there. There's a little notch in the cross pins. So you want to make sure that notch for the bottom one is facing up. Put your finger on there and just give a little rotate, put pressure down, make sure everything feels good. You don't feel any binding, grinding, any issues. Same thing with the top set. Clean them off, do an inspection. So after a bunch of years of doing nitro RC, we sat idle for a little while and decided to get into something different and go electric. Right now, this thing's just been sitting for a while and hasn't been used. in a couple of years. I bought it off of a buddy of mine that was moving. And we got some stuff we're going to test fire and run, make sure the truck's still up and goes, and see what we do with it. Probably sell that off to buy myself an electric kit. That's the game plan. Guys got any comments? Your favorite nitro electric kits? What do you got? Let me know. So now we got all those in there. We got both the bottom and top, all four the little gears in there. Like I said, push down in the center, give it a little spin. Make sure you rotate everything. You don't feel anything in there, grit or grimy. Something's broke. Doesn't feel right. Want to make sure your little set screws in. I've seen guys fill these up and pump oil right out the side. Maybe even done that once myself. We're not saying. So, get out your diff fluid. Got all your gears stacked in there. So, go through, and I like to lay it down in one corner nice and easy and try to kind of force the air out and let it find its way. I know other people force it all down and around. If it's not taking it, move off to the next side. I try to leave a place for the air to escape, and it's a little thicker, and let it kind of roll one side down through the bottom and push its way over. Kind of push the air out. But do whatever works for you. Either way you're looking to fill it up. Just to the top of the gears there. You don't want to overfill it. And this is stuff you guys are going to do. You have a couple hours worth of runtime. You better think about redoing their diffs, checking bearings, all the stuff in here. If you hold your axles and spin that and feel inside and feel like there's something grinding, not meshing in there quite right when you rotate them either direction, working the differential action, then probably time to look at your diffs. All right. Add a little more, just not covering everything. Kind of like your shocks, you're going to want to let the air bubbles work their way out, which is going to take a little bit longer with the diffs, being you got quite a bit thicker oil. As you can see, the bubbles rising right out of there. Once your bubbles rise, you can give these a little turn, but turn them really nice and easy. Otherwise, they'll pop right up out of there, and you'll end up with a heck of a mess. Just turn them nice and easy till you get the undersides flipped up and any air bubbles trapped underneath those teeth work their way up. So we'll give that a go. Also found by cleaning everything, we had bad bearing on the brake cam, which is all back to new now. That was blown out. Brake assembly. Here's what's left of the bearings. Time for replacing. They were shot. So I'm going to garbage right now. Watch yourself, Pete. Good boy. All right. Let the air bubbles sit out of that. Come over here and clean this side off a little bit. Change the bearing on this side. So there's the same gear that's deep down inside the one you couldn't see. They come off pretty easy. Wiggle and pull. Be careful of the gasket. All diffs should have gaskets on them as far as the 8-scale differentials. As far as I know, some sort. But I could be wrong. So that little, there's a little cross pin. Goes in just like that. And your bearing comes off just like that. I'll wipe everything down nice. You're going to get a better rag. All right, big guy. You're okay. You're okay, buddy. Wipe everything off real nice. The old bearing aside. Inspect the teeth on the gear. Make sure everything looks good. Nice. Wipe everything off. Call that one good. So, reassembly. Take your spur gear. See that size? Got to, just like so. Got to work the other way with this thing so I can see. You guys can see. So, bearing goes on. Out drive back through. These were all new, and you pulled all the O-rings out and gave this a 100% cleaning or new replacement. Make sure you rub some lubricant on the O-ring there. I used green slime. I was trying to look for it, but it's around somewhere. I still got a bottle of that. So slide your out drive in through there. See, there's a little, there's the hole. That's not working. We're doing it down here. Just like so. These usually bounce pretty good. Plus, I don't know where my other socket's at, so we're just doing it like this. Same thing, replace this piece. gear on top of your out drive. Pusher down. That one already had some fluid on it, so I'm leaving it alone. Meanwhile, still got a couple bubbles in there we're going to let rise out. Brake linkage. So whether you guys are bashing or racing or whatever you're using your RC vehicle for, be one of the two. If you're on a tight budget, these bearings have been sitting and just kind of dried out. They're still in pretty decent shape. This one's not bad at all. Just this one's nasty. You can wipe these off if you choose to reuse them, or you're on a limited budget. I'd recommend replace your diff bearings. Take the time to replace that. Change the fluid. Your vehicle will thank you for it. Your diffs will thank you. You'll get a better return as far as performance and being able to control your vehicle, which is what you're after no matter what you do. Take these bearings and run them out here on the outside of the hub somewhere that you can run them out completely till you know they're no good and or they break. Something that's nice, quick, and easy. So if you want to maximize your bearings, buy a few new ones. I'd recommend doing your diffs. It's a little bit more commitment. But you can reuse those, use those bearings for the outside, or if one happens to blow out, however you want to do it. I don't reuse them too much anymore. I may, but the one's in decent shape. For what I'm planning on doing, if one blows out, I'd reuse it. So, this guy is about ready to go. Topped off where it needs to be. Put this cap back on. Somewhere. I like to use a couple broken toothpicks. I know a lot of you probably do this. If you don't, a couple the toothpicks broken in half. Make myself some alignment pins. Drop them right down in the holes. Some of the diffs, they go all the way through, so you might have to use a longer one. This one breaks in half and works just fine. Alignment pin. And just line this guy up with that. With the toothpicks. In a timely fashion so the gear doesn't fall out. And you may squish a little oil out, but the game plan is not too much, which I think I did a little too much. We'll let a little ooze out there for a second. But I guess a little bit extra is better than not enough. Alright. Start a couple of these. I do like to start my diffs by hand, diff screws, just so I know that they're where they need to be. And you're not cross-threading them. running them in crooked. So that's how I like to line up my diffs. I'll have to get a lower camera mount. Pull the toothpicks out. Run them in. And once I get them started, I usually run them in with a power tool a little ways. Not all the way in tight, just down close enough that it saves your arm. Nice and easy. Don't want to strip anything or burn the threads all up. Just nice and easy. And a cross pattern. I get those down tight. Use your hand driver. Just snug them down a little bit. I like to do this in a couple steps. Like I said, go back and forth. You don't want to over tighten these. You just want to snug them down so your gear's on there nice and even, which it would be right now. And then go back through and do a little cross pattern and just give them just a snug down. You'll know it'll just tighten up and stop. That's all you need. Not going crazy here. You don't want to warp the housing or strip it. There we go. Let me wipe this off. What you doing, good guy? What you doing? Oh, now it's time for you to play, huh? All right, hold on. You want to say hi? Wussy. Just a big wimp. So, anyway, wipe your diff off all nice from any of the excess of oil. In my case, this time I had a little more than normal, but, you know, it happens. You got some nice new clean center differential. Now we're talking. That feels good. See how it sounds when you put her in the chassis. A little better. Maybe a little shimming required. Nice. There's center diff. Guess while we're here, we might as well throw the brakes back on it. Give me a second to clean up. What are you getting into over there? Make sure my dog's not eating any of my tools. Yeah, I'm talking about you. So I'll show you guys what we got here. We'll be running for servos. A couple different ones. Got a high-tech 7955. High-tech 7950. I'm a big fan of high-tech. We've had these servos for quite a while. The one in the hot bodies up there is my first high-tech servo I got way back in the day, and it's still going strong. Now that I say that, probably end up breaking, but high-tech servos have treated me good. There's a free plug for high-tech. Be wide as well. So I'll be in nitro. This has brake shoes, or brake discs, I should say. I believe these are fiberglass. I like to take them on a little flat piece. I believe this is 100 grit. Just give them a little rotation. Yeah. Just enough to resurface them a little bit. See how they're starting to whiten up there, get some of that build up residue out of them. What are you eating? Me digging up my floor. You're all right. Your thing. So there's the old one. Just dirt, nitro fuel, build up metal in them from the pads. It takes a second, makes a big difference. Relax. You chill out. Sorry, Mom, relax. That's it. That's all I do in my brake pads. Wipe them off with a little paper towel, get any dust off of them. That's it. Back to as good as new as they're getting. These go on either side of your dips. The flat out drives. Brake pads. Okay, drops right down into there. This truck actually has some guide wheels for the pads. May shift back gear, but I don't know which way for sure, which way I want to go. So we'll see how it is when we're all said and done, but we may come back to that. I just use my fingernails and fingers spreading and lining the pads back up. That's it. There's your brake assembly. Snaps on, snaps off. This is a pretty user-friendly design. So, screws for this thing. These are in here. There are 4 screws. Same thing. Anytime you got 4 screws in a group, you always want to tighten them up in some sort of a star cross pattern, just so you make sure everything's nice and lined up, centered up, then snug them all down nice and tight. Plus, if you have a problem, something's binding up you didn't see, you'll feel it. Hopefully not break something or strip something out. And I just run them down close. And hand tighten them with the appropriate size wrench. Snug them all down just so it seats everything in place first. And then go back and snug everything down to spec, so to speak. Here we got the center differential done. Make sure it spins nice. Which this one's not, because it's a little too tight. Back off your screws so the brake cams are nice and loose. Nice. And we forgot to put the front axle on. Well, ain't that a bitch? Yeah, you want to remember to do that. And insert your axle, which I'll have to do the rear, so I'm not even going to put it all the way back on. That's how it's done, though. Forgot about doing the rear. That'll be tomorrow. Feels good. All right. That is the chit chat for tonight. You guys got any questions? Post your questions and comments below and we'll get back to you on them. Ideas, tech tips, something you want to see. Thanks for watching.